even a more powerful evidence. Even a single protein to emerge by natural events, as Darwinism claims, is impossible, because for a single protein, there are trillions of different protein molecules, for a single protein to be produced, to be synthesized, to emerge, other proteins must exist. Proteins can only be synthesized by the proteins, but this is not enough. A DNA must exist at the same time, because protein is encoded in the DNA. There is energy needed, nuclear power stations of the cell, mitochondria is needed, protein factories, ribosomes are needed. A fully equipped, complete living cell is required to produce a single protein that completely eliminates, this is a scientific fact, Darwinism. These are the scientific facts which eradicates Darwinism completely. Materialism. Materialism absolutely rejects the existence of anything beyond matter. They say, materialism says, there is only matter and there is no creator. It goes back to the ancient Greece, actually. So materialists, they defended the infinite existence of matter. They said there is no beginning of the matter. Matter existed since forever and will exist forever. That was the materialist claim. And Darwinism is the application of the materialism onto the nature. You know what happened? Big Bang, which is an accepted scientific fact because it is a proven fact by 3 evidences, I will tell you, has shown us 14 to 15 billion years ago. The matter had a beginning and existed out of nothingness. There is a moment where there was no matter, no time, and no space. 14 billion years ago, all of a sudden, it came out, emerged by nothingness. That means created by Allah. And in fact, this is also a scientific fact mentioned in the Quran as a scientific miracle of the Quran. Can you translate that? I'm sorry, like yeah. So Darwinism is dead, scientifically. Not too close. Okay.
So, I want to ask you in fact did not answer my question. I put it very short. There isn't anybody in this world who knows how to interpret and know the true meanings of God's revelation. I even mentioned the word heaven. There isn't anybody in this world up to this moment know the true meaning of heaven. That is in the first paragraph of the book of Genesis.
Heaven, here.
So you did not answer my question. Okay. My question, I repeat it again. There isn't anybody in this world up to this moment know the true meaning of God's revelation. That's why we let a lot of answers we don't know, like poverty, sins, and evil, and so on. So my question, I repeat the third time. There isn't anybody in this world up to this moment know the true meaning of God's revelation, which are contained in the book of Genesis.
Okay.
And then the meaning of heaven, you mentioned, I put it. I mentioned it.
Okay. Now, first of all, in this room, we know that we are created by a creator, because I've given you scientific facts. I'm not talking about religion. I'm talking about scientific facts. The fossil evidence and the proteins to emerge by chance is impossible. These are the scientific facts prove that life must be created. And there is nothing complicated about the creation and the religion. Even a small child, 5 or 7 years old child, by looking around, now look around, you see a 3-dimensional, colorful view, beautiful colors and 3-dimensional view. And there is a moment we did not exist, and then we all of a sudden came into the existence, and became into a world, a 3-dimensional, colorful world with musical sounds, human sounds, with the smells of the rose, bananas, and the tastes. So we have perceptions. And I'll show you also, Brother Yusuf, you translated you, that we are only in direct contact with our perceptions in our minds. And of course, since we have the perceptions, there must be a creator of these perceptions. And we call the creator of the system Allah. Allah is the name Allah given himself. Allah introduces himself through revelation in the Quran, and in the past Allah introduced himself in the Gospel Bible and in the Torah, which were revealed to the prophets. So Allah introduces himself in the Quran. We cannot perceive Allah. Allah is unseen. Ghaib, Allah says. But we know Allah is known only through reason. This is one of the titles of the book of Harun Yahya. Allah can only know through reason. The reason which tells us there are scientific evidences. Wherever we look, we see complexity and delicate balances, order and harmony. This tells us there is an infinite wisdom behind that. For example, if anybody walking through the forest or desert, if you find this remote control in the middle of the desert or in the middle of the forest, would anybody think this could be a product of coincidences? Of course not. Why? Because it has a very specific design. It is designed and produced for a specific purpose. It has buttons on that. It controls the laptop, the projector, and emits radio waves. So it has a specific design and purpose. That means it is being produced by an intelligence. Wherever we look around in the nature, in the universe, in the atoms, in the orbit of the earth, bat solar systems, dolphin solar systems, the wings of the birds, we see there is a purpose, there is a complexity, and there is information in the DNA, for example. That tells us there is an infinite wisdom behind that, and that is the Creator. And the Creator introduces Himself in the Quran, in the book Quran, and Allah also gives the information about the hereafter. Allah says, this life is very transitory and short, but there is a purpose of this creation. Since this has a purpose, since this building, these columns has a purpose, since this laptop has a purpose, since this screen has a purpose, the creation of the humans has a purpose also. We are not purposeless, we have a purpose. And Allah explains this in the Quran. Allah says, I created man and jinn to worship me alone. The purpose of this life is humans to be tested, whether they believe with their logic and all these evidences to Allah and surrender to Allah, or they will be a disbeliever. And Allah says, Allah prepared the hell and the heaven in the hereafter. For those who disbelieve Allah with their arrogance and transgression, Allah says, because Allah says in the Quran, everybody knows with their conscientious there is a believer. It is nothing complicated. I told you, even a small child can understand. There is a creator of the system. But Allah says, the reason why disbelievers disbelieve Allah is because of arrogance and transgression. So everybody in the subconscious mind knows there is a creator. There is no true atheist, there is no true Darwinist. If you read the books of the Darwinists, they always confess that Darwinism is a nonsense. There is no true atheist. Take for example Richard Dawkins. Richard Dawkins is the #1 atheist and evolutionist of the world. If he would be a sincere atheist, if Richard Dawkins would be a sincere atheist, he would live his life. If he would believe that death is the end of this life and there is no hereafter, he would make money, he would go to vacation, he would have fun, and he would do whatever he wants to do. But you know what he does? He opens websites, he writes books, and 24 hours he struggles against religion and the existence of Allah. You know why? He knows in his subconscious mind there is a creator. There is no true atheist, says Allah in the Quran. In their consciences, they know there is a creator, but because of the arrogance and transgression, they deny the existence. They try to deny the existence of a creator. But Allah says, there will be an endless torment in hell is prepared in the hereafter, and in paradise. Of course, we cannot see them now, because the dimensions that we are created in, this three-dimensional world, is created for us. But again, remember I told you we have only direct contact with our perceptions, and our soul is the one who perceives. But it does not matter, and there is in fact no space and no matter what to think about. Scientifically, imagine now we're seeing a room full of people. I'm looking now, I'm seeing you in a room. Am I in the room, or is the room in myself? Of course the room is in myself, because in my lentil size area of my brain, I see this room, I see you, and so in my lentil size area, all of you, myself, my body, and the room is in the same spot. So there is no space. Allah created this as a level of perception, like in our dreams. Every night we see dreams. We see people, we see new environments, we see the sun, we feel the temperature of the sun, we drive our car in our dreams. We see completely new environments and people. We run away, we see animals, and then we suddenly wake up. And we see none of them is there. But they are there at the level of perception. In the infinite memory of Allah they are preserved. They never disappear. But at the level of perception. And Allah creates all these perceptions. And this word we call this word reality and a dream because dreams are shorter. Dreams are not as clear as we see them right now. And the logic of the dreams are different than the logic of this world. So that's the reason why we call this real. But this is not a real difference. In the hereafter, Allah says, we will be awakened, we will be resurrected. And then we will have a more clearer vision. So we will call this word a dream. And the hereafter in reality. So Allah created the hereafter and Allah gives this information. But we have faith without seeing them, without seeing Allah. We believe in Allah and Allah is known through reason, with wisdom. Because wherever we look, we see the evidences of a creator. It is nothing complicated. It's very simple. Everybody knows that. Looking at the science, that's the reason why science is so important. If you look inside the cell, for example, the complexity of the cell is more complex than anything in the universe, a single cell. So that tells us there is a creator, of course, who controls every single moment this complexity and creates on and on again. So there is nothing complicated about the existence of a creator and the religion. Thank you very much.
Any other?
Thank you. Mohammed, I would like to know the explanation I should give to my former school teacher. He said that mammals like whales and dolphins used to live on land and has. I repeat my question, Mohammed. I would like to know the explanation I should give to my former school teacher who says that mammals such as whales and dolphins used to live on land and has evolved in order to live on sea. They are still mammals. Thank you.
What did you say? I didn't understand. I couldn't understand. What is your question?
I would like to know mammals like whales and dolphins are mammals.
Mammals.
Like human beings. So, living among fish in the sea. So, how do you explain has there been evolution? This is what they learn in schools, right?
Yes.
Like our sleeps, become better themselves, fish, something like that.
But Darwinism is